With Google Docs, you can research using Google and insert references right into your document. To do this, click on the little bubble with a star on it in the bottom right corner. This is the Explore tab, and may by default populate with some searches and images based on what you have already written. To research, click on the search bar at the top, and use this just as you would a normal Google search. You can also search for items in your drive. As you can see, you can search for websites, images, and as just mentioned, your drive. To visit a search result, simply click on it, and a new tab will pop up redirecting you to that chosen search result, whether it being a web page or an image. If you want to cite something, hover over the result and click on the quotation marks icon. Doing this will add a footnote with the citation. This can make it easier when writing research reports. Google Docs allows you to transcribe your voice. This means that you can speak into your microphone, and whatever you say will be typed for you. This could be useful if you are unsure how to spell a certain word, and can have Google transcribe it for you. Another use for voice typing is if you just want to quickly take a bunch of notes without actually having to type it. To use voice typing, you must be accessing Google Docs via Google Chrome. Go up to Tools, and then select Voice Typing. A little pop-up window will appear with a giant microphone in the middle. If you want to speak in a language other than English, click on the drop-down menu and select your language. To start transcribing, click on the microphone button. If you haven't used this feature before, Chrome might ask you if Google Docs can have access to your microphone. Hit Allow. Begin speaking to transcribe. If you want to do things like add a period or start a new line, simply say period or start a new line, and Google will transcribe it for you. Google Docs allows you to transcribe your voice. This means that you can speak into your microphone, and whatever you say will be typed for you. This could be useful if you are unsure how to spell a certain word, and can have Google transcribe it for you. Another use for voice typing is if you just want to quickly take a bunch of notes without actually having to type it. To use voice typing, you must be accessing Google Docs via Google Chrome. Go up to Tools, and then select Voice Typing. A little pop-up window will appear with a giant microphone in the middle. If you want to speak in a language other than English, click on the drop-down menu and select your language. To start transcribing, click on the microphone button. If you haven't used this feature before, Chrome might ask you if Google Docs can have access to your microphone. Hit Allow. Begin speaking to transcribe. If you want to do things like add a period or start a new line, simply say period or start a new line, and Google will transcribe it for you.
In this video, you'll learn how to create internal links in Google Docs. You can use this trick to create something simple like a table of contents, or something more elaborate like an interactive choice board or hyperdoc. I'll start with a couple quick examples so you can see how it works. Here's a doc that I created for a PD session that I did. To make navigation on the doc easier, I added a table of contents, and if you click on any of the links, it takes you directly to that particular section in the doc. Then I added this little link down here, which takes you back to the top. Here's another interactive doc I made that's part of a digital choice board. To keep student work all in one place, I included a responses section below the choice board. And I posted this in Google Classroom and selected make a copy for each student. This gives every student their own copy. They can click the links and type in the responses section for any of the choices that they select. And then I included this little navigation menu in the footer so that students can easily return back to the choice board when they're done typing their response. Okay, so now that you've seen the end result, let's talk about how to actually create the links. I'm just going to open a blank Google Doc here and we'll go through the process. So first you need to know about this drop down here. These are your default styles for headers and text in Google Docs, and we'll come back to those in a minute. So I'm just going to type a few random lines here. I'll give it a title, a heading, subheading, and then I'll just copy some dummy text here just to like give it the feel of an actual document. And then I'll apply the styles. So here's my title, come back up, I'll do heading 1 for heading, I'll do heading 2 for my subheading, and then my normal text is my normal text. And for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to copy and paste this to give the document some length. Okay, so you can see that it changed like the size of the text and the headings and all of that, but behind the scenes, it's actually creating a document outline. So if you come up here to view and then show document outline, you can see that basically a traditional outline pops up off to the side here, and you can click on the headings and subheadings, and that's pretty helpful all by itself. We can now take this a step further and create a clickable table of contents at the top of the actual doc. So to do that, we're going to click Insert Table of Contents, and we have two options here of what we want our table of contents to look like. I'll just start with this one with the blue links. You can see that each of the headings and subheadings has been added to the top and turned into clickable links. For like multi-page documents, you could also use this version of the table of contents that includes the page number for each of the headings and subheadings. And you can click on these too, even though they don't look like traditional links. If you add additional headings, you can see that it automatically updates the document outline, but you'll need to manually update the table of contents by clicking the refresh icon up here. As a side note, you can also download your doc as a PDF and the links will remain intact. So just come up here to File, Download, and then select PDF Document. And you can see an example of what that looks like with my video publishing doc. This is a really cool trick to teach students as well. This works for like journal prompts and multi-chapter stories and things like that. Okay, lastly, if you want to create a clickable link that isn't part of a table of contents, we can do that as well. Just highlight any text in the document, then right-click and select Link. You can see that the headings and subheadings we just created are here, and just click whichever one you want to link to, click Apply, and you are good to go. So that's how you create internal links in Google Docs. I have a similar video for creating links in Google Slides, so I will link that in the video description if you want to take a look. As always, thanks so much for watching, and if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more Google tips and tricks.
Automatic substitution. Now you can access this through the Preferences button under Tools, and this can be super convenient for things that just don't have a key, such as the M dash. You can also use this method to massively speed up your writing, because you can replace longer words that you frequently use with an abbreviation and have it auto-replace. When you're writing that kind of name out over and over again, those seconds add up and definition of, and then right-clicking, and then go down to define, and this will bring up a definition right on the side. Super convenient. And word for all things, then you can do this to quickly find some synonyms. Next up, we have the drawing tool. This doesn't work so much for writing your actual book, but it does work very well for world building and plotting and anything like that. And basically the way this tool works is you just go up and you do insert and you hit drawing, and that'll bring up this drawing pad. So this is great for if you want to sketch out a quick idea to show future you what you meant, so this can help with that. And if you're attached to the images or you want to use them somewhere else, you can export them to JPEG. At the very top there's add fonts, and there's a ton more Google Docs fonts right there built in that you can activate. You know, I keep seeing this Comic Sans thing going around and you guys swear by it, but I can't put my dignity aside long enough to try it. Next up we have drag and drop. If you ever want to rearrange a sentence, just highlight what you want to move, Click Shift, and then you can just drag it to wherever you want to move it to. Just drag and drop. Next up, we have Learn Keyboard Shortcuts. You can find them under Help, and this is just something where if you have some spare time one day, look it over and try to memorize them, because you don't think that knowing those shortcuts will help. We have a total of 4. The first one on the list is Edit Office Docs in Google Docs. So this is an extension, so I'll throw a link in the description box down below so you can get to it. But basically, Google doesn't have a built-in way in their docs that allows you to edit Microsoft Office documents. So this extension was developed by Google and will supposedly let you just edit Office documents without needing to convert them back and forth. Next up, Screenplay Formatter. And I know most of you don't care about this, but back when I dabbled in short films, I used this and it was so helpful. And a few of you are screenwriters, so I figured I'd mention it. And basically it just gives you easy buttons that insert the kind of things that you would need to use in a script. Next up, we have the SAS Writing Reviser. I almost cut this one from the list, because although it's a very powerful tool with great writing applications, it also has so many annoying foresights. Things that the developers really should have thought of and just didn't. So although this can be really helpful, there's a ton of noise you have to search through to get to the information you need. So it can be very annoying. So some of the features that this has that can be really helpful are things like the repetitive word option, which highlights words that are repeated often. The problem with this is that there's no way to add words to a whitelist. And so it catches words like and her and my. So many of the features of this add-on are like that, where they do pull up valuable information that can help you better your writing, but they also complain about things that you just can't fix. One of the other features of this that I think could actually be helpful is the feature to find jargon and cliches, which finds things that you might not think of as being cliché. Phrases that are just built into our language, things like deer in the headlights. So yeah, give this add-on a try, but keep in mind, again, there is so much noise to filter through to get to the useful things. So it can be a bit of a time commitment. And last, and probably least, is Writer's Highlighter. So one of the big perks of this is when paired with a simple spreadsheet link, this will go through and highlight any words in your spreadsheet. During your editing phase, this can be super helpful because you can fill in the spreadsheet with words you commonly overuse. And then this is also a good place to put words you know you commonly